Who bears the responsibility for your protection? Is it the state, or is it you? This question, seemingly simple, is in fact layered with complexities and implications. There's a prevalent perception that the state, with its vast machinery of law enforcement, is duty-bound to protect us. The police, the courts, the legal system, they all exist to ensure our safety, right? Well, not quite. While it's true that these institutions play a crucial role in maintaining law and order, there's a fundamental concept that often gets overlooked, the concept of self-defense and personal responsibility. It's not just about knowing how to throw a punch or being able to outrun danger. It's about understanding the risks, preparing for them, and when necessary, taking decisive action to protect yourself and your loved ones. Now you may be thinking, but isn't that what the police are for? And yes, to an extent, you're correct. But there's a limit to what the state can do, a boundary defined by laws and court rulings that might surprise you. Take, for instance, the case of Castle Rock v. Gonzales, a Supreme Court case from 2 decades ago. This case, which we will explore in detail later, ruled that a town and its police department could not be sued for refusing to enforce a restraining order, even though the refusal led to the murder of a woman's 3 children by her estranged husband. Shocking, isn't it? This ruling affirms a controversial principle, that state and local government officials have no affirmative duty to protect the public from harm they did not create. It's a stark reminder that while the state plays a role in our protection, the ultimate responsibility often lies with us. This isn't about fear-mongering or promoting a do-it-yourself approach to law enforcement. It's about understanding the realities of our society and the limits of state protection. It's about recognizing the importance of self-reliance and personal responsibility in our own safety. Let us delve deeper into a case that challenged this perception and shook the nation. In the year 2005, a landmark case rocked the United States Supreme Court, Castle Rock v. Gonzales, a case that would forever alter the perception of the state's responsibility towards its citizens. The tale begins with Jessica Gonzales, a resident of Castle Rock, Colorado. She lived in fear of her estranged husband, against whom she had an active restraining order. This court-issued document was meant to keep her and her 3 beloved children safe from him. However, one fateful June evening, her worst fears became a chilling reality. Despite the restraining order, her husband kidnapped their 3 children, a dire situation that Jessica immediately reported to the Castle Rock police. She informed them about the restraining order and pleaded for help, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. The police did not prioritize the enforcement of the restraining order even after Jessica contacted them multiple times throughout the evening and night. Tragically, the following morning, the bodies of her 3 children were discovered in their father's vehicle outside the Castle Rock police station. He had murdered them before taking his own life. This shocking incident was a harrowing reminder of the lethal consequences when protective measures fail to serve their purpose. In the aftermath, Jessica Gonzales took legal action against the town of Castle Rock and its police department. She argued that their refusal to enforce the restraining order had directly led to the murder of her children. She filed a lawsuit under 42 U.S.C. Section 1983, a federal statute that provides a cause of action for the violation of constitutional rights by persons acting under color of state law. This case found its way to the United States Supreme Court, where a pivotal decision awaited. The question was whether the police department could be held accountable for its refusal to enforce the restraining order. The court's ruling would essentially determine if state and local government officials have an affirmative duty to protect the public from harm they did not create. After deliberation, the Supreme Court made a controversial ruling. By a vote of 7-2, the court sided with the town and its police department. They held that Jessica Gonzales did not have a constitutional right to police enforcement of her restraining order. The court reasoned that the police department's decision to not prioritize the enforcement of the restraining order did not amount to a violation of her constitutional rights. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the town and its police department, stating they could not be sued for refusing to enforce a restraining order. This ruling affirmed a contentious principle, that state and local government officials do not have an affirmative duty to protect individuals from harm that they did not create. This landmark case served as a stark reminder of the limitations of state protection and the critical importance of self-reliance. The ruling of Castle Rock v. Gonzales had far-reaching implications for the responsibility of state and local government officials. This case, decided in 2005 by the United States Supreme Court, affirmed a controversial principle. Government officials have no affirmative duty to shield the public from harm they did not create. In other words, if the danger is not a direct result of the government's action or inaction, they are under no obligation to protect you. This principle isn't an anomaly. A similar ruling was made in Duchesne v. Winnebago County. This case involved Child Protective Services, referred to as the Department of Social Services in the case, and their failure to protect a child from a violent parent. The court held that the department could not be held liable for the harm caused by the parent. Like Castle Rock v. Gonzales, this case reinforced the principle that the state has no affirmative duty to protect individuals from harm they did not cause. These decisions have stirred controversy and been widely condemned by several human rights groups. They are often cited among the worst Supreme Court decisions in modern history. Critics argue that they undermine the state's role in ensuring public safety and create a dangerous precedent. They say that these rulings leave the public vulnerable and shift the burden of protection onto individuals. On the other hand, supporters of these rulings argue that they merely clarify the limits of state responsibility. They contend that it's unrealistic and impractical to expect the state to prevent all harm, especially those that arise from private disputes or domestic situations. Regardless of where you stand on this issue, one thing is clear: these cases underscore a harsh reality. The state, despite its best intentions, may not always be there to protect us. In the end, the responsibility for our safety may fall squarely on our shoulders, a fact that underlines the importance of self-reliance and personal preparedness. In light of these rulings, the importance of self-reliance in self-defense becomes paramount. The world can be a challenging place, and while there are systems in place designed to protect us, the reality is that these systems may not always be there when we need them most. It's a sobering realization, but one that underscores the critical importance of self-reliance. So, what does it mean to be self-reliant in terms of self-defense? It begins with understanding that your safety and that of your family is a personal responsibility. The first line of defense is always you. It's about being vigilant, aware of your surroundings, and prepared to take action should the need arise. This doesn't mean transforming into a superhero overnight. Rather, it's about equipping yourself with the knowledge and skills necessary to respond effectively to potential threats. This could range from learning basic self-defense techniques to understanding your legal rights and responsibilities, to having a plan of action in case of emergency situations. Self-reliance in self-defense also extends to mental and emotional preparedness. It's about cultivating a mindset that refuses to be a victim, that is proactive rather than reactive. It's about understanding that fear is natural, but it should not paralyze you. Instead, it can be harnessed as a powerful motivator to learn, prepare, and act. In essence, self-reliance and self-defense is about empowerment. It's about taking control of your own safety, rather than relying solely on external entities. It's about recognizing that while we can't control every situation, we can control our reactions to them, and in doing so, we can significantly influence the outcomes. In the wake of court cases like Castle Rock v. Gonzales and Duchesne v. Winnebago County, the value of self-reliance becomes even more evident. These rulings serve as stark reminders that the duty to protect ourselves and our loved ones ultimately lies with us. Your safety ultimately rests in your hands. We delved into a critical topic today, one that questions the very nature of our dependence on the state for protection. We journeyed through the chilling narrative of Castle Rock versus Gonzales, a case that highlighted the limitations of our reliance on the state. This landmark case, along with Duchesne v. Winnebago County, affirmed a controversial principle: that local government officials have no affirmative duty to protect the public from harm they did not create. The implications are profound, and they underscore the importance of self-reliance in self-defense. We discussed how these rulings are not just about legalities, but about our personal responsibility to protect ourselves and our loved ones. They serve as solemn reminders that our safety ultimately rests in our own hands. Remember, at the end of the day, your safety and the safety of your loved ones relies on your vigilance and preparedness. Stay safe. Understanding the law is a crucial part of self-reliance and self-defense. As we've seen from the Castle Rock vs. Gonzales case, it's not enough to rely solely on the state for protection. But stepping up to take responsibility for our own safety comes with its own set of challenges. One of the most important is knowing and understanding the self-defense laws in your jurisdiction. Self-defense laws vary widely and can be complex, but ignorance of these laws can lead to severe consequences. For instance, some jurisdictions have stand-your-ground laws, while others require a duty to retreat. Failing to adhere to these laws, even while acting in self-defense, can result in criminal charges. By understanding these laws, we empower ourselves. We can better navigate situations where our safety is at risk and make informed decisions on how best to protect ourselves and our loved ones. Knowledge of the law is a vital tool in our self-defense toolkit, alongside awareness of our surroundings and the physical ability to defend ourselves. Remember, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay safe. In our next video, we'll delve deeper into self-defense laws across different jurisdictions. Until then, keep asking questions and keep seeking answers.
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful.